All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got your watch list coming into June 21st, 2019, and we had a black swan today. But the stock market didn't crash. So if you guys don't know what a black swan is, this is an event that really shouldn't happen. It's not really expected, and it has a negative effect on the market. But we saw that happen, and that event was what occurred today with Iran and the United States. Now, we've been seeing the tankers go down and all that, but what occurred was very, very important because, like I told you guys, watch oil. Now, I was probably expecting something, well, not probably, I was expecting more of a stall or a downside, but the fact we saw this, and even gold ripped up almost around 1,400 there, when you see what oil did today, it had an insane pop, and really this was the biggest move since early January as far as a one-day move goes, so you could see it. It was very unexpected. Even the volume, it looked very dry today, then kind of came out of nowhere, but it is recovered back to this first level here, which is very dramatic, and that happened because of the tensions there with Iran. And now, again, the oil tankers happened, but a lot of people, whether you are an economist or into politics, this greatly increases the tensions there in the Middle East and what we already see going. So eventually this is going to have an effect on the stock market, and we saw something very unique today here because when Trump did respond, you saw it really, this is a move I really want you guys to pay attention for because it was slightly increased volume that, persisted, but the decline, and it sliced through any support level. This was one of those very, very brief moments we haven't seen in a while, honestly, where the market didn't look like the computers were there to help it. But, that quickly ended, and it got its footing. Thank God. If the volume was higher, if any liquidity, if there was algo adding liquidity to that move, that could have been a lot worse. But again, considering the nature of what happened, this was pretty much when Trump said, we will see to retaliating. So that is going to be a key coming into not only tomorrow, but watching whenever that news comes up, it could have an effect. But again, why did oil spike up on this type of news? Whenever there's tensions in the Middle East and oil and stuff like that, oil is going up because if we do have tensions, think about it, if you guys even look back in the war when we were in Iraq, think about how high gas prices were. If you have an environment of oil tankers getting blown up in the water and you have now these countries literally fighting each other, it's like your parents always arguing all the time, maybe a little bit more aggressive. Anytime, you could just get caught in the crossfire, that hurts trade. So how are people going to send and ship oil? It's going to start raising, it'll drop the supply of oil and raise it up despite this big supply glut we have, which is interesting. But so why we're considering, or why I consider this a black swan, because this was a totally unexpected event. The tanker was a little bit weird, but now, again, and even if you think, it's hard to say who did the tanker, this and that, but now you literally have a United States plane, a drone, thankfully it was unmanned, got shot down in, now this is the debate, was it international waters or was it Syrian airspace? But it was even confirmed by the commander. Even Trump said, it could have been one man's decision, but even the general of Iran, actually I don't know the actual title, I'm assuming that, I think it was like the general commander or something, I don't know how their rankings work, but he confirmed it and said, this is a message that, he said that a message that Iran is a red line, and it's not to be crossed, and they're prepared to fight. That's literally the response that was said. But again, what makes this a black swan? This is the United States we're talking. Now, it does get a little deeper here. And again, I totally forgot. See, I'm just totally excited about this, man. We have so many plays to go over. I'm going to go over some of the trades I made today, so get ready for that. We'll look at the options for Friday. We could even get a little YOLO scanning on there, and I need some frog hoppers or frog scanners here, so pay attention. We're going to go over that again. And last but definitely not least, make sure you guys post your watch list below. And again, it's been having a I've been seeing so many more results. You guys, drop a thumbs up on this video. It takes a quick second, and we appreciate you all. And as a thank you, come on stream, youtube.com/the stock market. We are live 30 minutes before open, Monday through Friday. You like the videos, come. I want you to see the trades. I want to talk with you. I have my good friend Chad. He is willing to help out. It's exciting. It has been awesome so far. So we will see you in the pre-market to go over these plays. But now I got that out of the way. Let's talk, coming back to Iran. It is a weird situation for it to occur, attacking the U.S., but Iran, if you remember a few years ago, Obama was shipping billions of dollars of cash on a plane to return prisoners that they captured, and Iran kind of, it's a touchy subject. That's where you guys have to understand with the escalation and everything politically. It is a very touchy subject to the point they even had United States prisoners in recent modern history now within the last decade, and we literally paid a ransom, but we didn't go to war. So that's where you have to think this is a big step. But now this is a lot more physical. Again, nobody was hurt. But with Trump in power, it creates an interesting power dynamic that I think we'll be excited to see. Well, not even exciting, actually scary. That's what makes even today move, all over the place. But let's get into the keys for today because it'll kind of explain what I have in mind. The key for tomorrow is the Black Mirror, the Black Swan, my friend. So if you guys have seen that Netflix show, it kind of explains this a little bit, but things will reflect or will reflect oppositely. So again, a reflection will show you what it is almost back to back, or it's going to reflect in a opposite matter, kind of like an inverse or a divergence, and they may not appear as they seem. And you'll see what I'm saying with tomorrow and how I'm trying to explain it, but as these events take place, I said this on stream specifically, this sort of news event, it has two levels of digestion. This is one that's going to have an immediate reaction, and we saw that because, again, considering the scope, it sounded a lot worse until the market digested it a little bit, but Trump created some uncertainty, and they said they're still mulling it over till this time I'm making this video right now. We haven't heard an official response on what the U.S. is going to do, but that's what I'm saying. There will be an initial move, but then this is stuff that's going to digest and even have a ripple effect. But even take a look here. What time was it? Around 12:08 when we saw the drop. I don't know if I'm on the East or not, but pretty much every single time there was anything related to retaliating or any sort of news at that level, you really did start to see, you saw oil go up even from the morning and everything. So there was a direct response. But now as we come in waiting for stuff, that's what makes things interesting. But as far as tomorrow goes, I'm only looking for down Friday as far as is this event and is the market and now because you can't forget, we are still having a digestion from the Fed. So even what I brought up with the banks moving, so the banks are going to be very important, but we still have that. But what I'm trying to say is if anything is brewing, there's a lot of moving pieces right now. But if anything is going to be real serious, I'm only looking for the down Friday because then that could signal things aren't quite there and it could set us up for a down Friday, down Monday. But even beyond that, this is a pivotal point. There's a lot of weird uncertainty, but a lot of, the fact we did hit all-time highs, it puts us in a very interesting spot. And again, this is kind of rational for the market to even go up at these levels and do so at this, even when things are fearful. We've seen similar scenarios. But again, I think it will signal trouble in the water regardless of what happens. So oil could shoot up $20 tomorrow, but if we close red, I'm still going to be, I think something will be wrong. It doesn't matter what is even said, news or this. So I'm going to be very skeptical tomorrow, but that doesn't mean I'm really looking for puts. Thankfully, if you guys have been watching on the stream and following along with what we've been doing, those spreads, the butterflies, the verticals, they've allowed me to get positions till August, September on the put side with pretty limited risks. Most of them, I don't think I've really put more than $200 on more than one play out to September, and they all have, I think, 2,000% or more risk rewards. But even then, what I'm expecting even tomorrow in the morning, I'd expect big movements up or down in the first couple hours, then just calm for the rest of the day. And if it doesn't do that, that'll be interesting. But even to the Black Mirror, I think we might see something look like this. Again, big movements in the last couple hours. This came right back above close, but it doesn't have to go higher or lower. But the key will be where we open, but we might not even get a gap. That's the thing. This was a big gap. This would have been a really negative day if we didn't have that move. But considering, you have to realize oil just shot up historically, the stock market had to go up. It couldn't, think about how energy companies are tied into this. Even if the stock market's like, no, don't take me up. Don't take me up. No, I don't want to go there. The literal indexes will push it up if people in algos are buying it related to oil, and you see the weird push and pull effect. But now that could set up an opportunity for Friday, because although I think it could be calm towards the end, I think there's a big potential for individual movers. So we could see stocks break off from the market, and I think they could have some real gas to it. But even some news events at close, think of all the mergers lately. So those will be great for frogs and pushing it to the wall. But let's just get into that. So as far as the play goes, I want to share one that I made right off the bat because I think this is great to talk about Thursday in coming into Monday, because this is how you guys could set up for a something cool, and it's related to politics. It's related to everything, but I'm playing Molina, M-O-H. It's Molina Healthcare. Trump went over some fair pricing stuff for healthcare companies and drug companies, and he said it was an executive order, and he said he's going to be signing it on Monday. So stocks reacted, and again, if you remember last time with Bernie and all that stuff, that was, and not even, I think that was way, way longer ago, pretty much every single one of these drops on, Molina, UNH, you guys could see they're really plagued by all of these type of moves. Cigna looks a little bit better, but again, similar concept. Anthem, every single one of these in their very big move, they were all based on politics. They were all based on policy and literally people talking. But that goes to show you how sensitive this industry is to that, because the policy is what allowed them to get stupid rich. So I went after Melina, and the thing is why I went after it specifically. Look at it related to the SPY. It's diverging. Essentially, it did rip up a little bit when the SPY did, but at one point, this last leg going up, it's not buying it. But then if you go look at some of these other ones, Anthem, they're still below there, but doing the same thing. Cigna, again, big divergence there, doing its thing. Again, you can still at least see it's went up there. It's not as if the market went up and it stalled like Melina. And then UNH. So it's this. That's why I went after them. So we made a play on that one. As far as the options go, we'll look at these. And it was funny because the spreads were insane and we snaked it. And I got filled at one. You could see 1 minute later, I was trying to go after the bid and I bought one at 30 cents. But then, and you can see all these puts canceled. This is how you snake a chain. When you guys hear me talking about it, I'm literally going through all these different strikes and doing this. And man, thank God we sold that one Merck today. And Merck is one to watch too. Again, the healthcare are making some big moves, but I got filled at 30 cents on one of them, and the next trade went through at $12. So I bought it. I was down 50%. That was again, I was trying to show people how to call out the market maker on its BS, and then I got screwed over. So what did I do though? Literally right away, 1 minute, and this is a cool trick to know. If you ever put in an option and you were bidding on it and you see that you weren't getting filled, and then the minute you do get filled, a bunch of orders come after you, that is the market makers and the order routing and all that. So put in another order if you would like to. That's the issue. This increased my risk, but the point was I was going to spend $70 anyway, but I saw this one. I got it at 30. I thought that was good. It came in, but then 1 minute later, what did I do? I just bought two more for 15 cents. I put in a bid in the spread. It was like a 200% spread. I saw that $12 one come in. I instantly put in a $15 for two, and I got it, and I lowered my cost basis, and then as the stock continued to move, you can see here on the option chain, it pretty much, it got me leveled out there. So I'm just right below there. It was crazy. And again, you could see that happen right there. So I got screwed over on it. I had to take advantage of it though. But watch Melina, watch the healthcare stocks. I put it up on the watch list a couple days ago too. Regen, Biogen, I really like those. I have different spreads on them. I think they're going to be great. So again, it had even a little pop there, but watch out for that. Next is Nordstrom's. We talked about this yesterday. I like it. Some people are like, wait, what happened? Nordstrom's is going down. But if you do notice something, the Nordstrom's, the trades were a little weird. They went up and down. They did hold value for the most part, but then they did start to decay a little bit. But the fact is, it's still holding the price after this rumor, and that was big volume, big news. And again, it still saw that. The street's a little bit quiet. I like it still. So again, this could be what I'm talking about here with Friday. You could see a merger announcement. And again, that I'm going out on a limb. And if it's not Nordstrom's, we might see a merger, some BS news, or anything Friday. And again, we got to talk about the frog, so you guys are prepared for that. So you'll be on the chat. Make sure you guys got the stream alerts if you're gonna miss it. But I still really do like that Nordstrom's play. So keep your guys' eyes out for that. Next is PCG. This made a big move. And again, I was even trying to get, I think I was trying to snake the chain here at one point. I think I did. Yeah, I did it right here. Where's that PCG? Yeah, it canceled. It just wasn't really there. I think they went up. They said they either retired or fixed the power line, and then something about executive compensation and then a filing. But it went up. It went up a lot. And if you guys know, they went down a lot at first, but people kind of go crazy over this stock. It's an interesting range it's in right there. So to see it kind of move up and seeing where comparatively after all that drama, the fires, I would, this could be volatile, but if there is no be careful not to get stuck in it. And it's a cheaper stock, and the fact it's making a big move, there will be high IV. So be careful in the morning, especially if you're playing any Friday contract or a daily. Even if it's not a daily, the prices tend to be a little higher in the morning, and that's what people were saying. But the point could be though too, if the market hasn't moved as much, and it could be slightly higher, but you're paying an expensive price in the morning, hoping that the market will grow into it and move off from there. So you're gonna have to risk a little. You could miss an opportunity, but give it some time and let the opportunities come into it. And if you guys even watch today, we didn't make the first trade for a few hours, and that's what the market showed us there with it today. So keep your eye out for PCG. Next, we got McDonald's, and it looks completely different than the market, but somewhat similar. But the key here is to watch these moves. I was waiting here. Market was going up. It was still holding. that's typical, but there is a weird balance. They were up 0.25%. The market was up 1%. But watch McDonald's again. It's still at that 205 level, but the minute it does sell off, the same thing, even though it was on the watch list yesterday, if you see the market go up or if you see the market not even move and the value stocks start to tumble, that will be a bad sign. The minute these start going down with the market, McDonald's, Starbucks, Clorox, Hershey's, Procter & Gamble, Johnson & Johnson, Johnson, yeah, pretty much, that could be a very bad indicator. So watch out for them. Another play I like, Verizon, AT&T, and these are one of those, again, as I was just saying here with Nordstrom's, same thing could happen with Verizon and AT&T. They've been having these little late night rips or these end of the day rips, but also even AT&T, it had a big one. It'll come on volume, but just don't get fooled, especially in the morning, because the contracts may seem cheap, but these are not big movers. So the key will be volume and velocity. If there is an event, keep your ear to the street as well. But also now watch banks. So I cut out half of the Bank of Americas. We made those free, and if you look at them, they actually ended up worthless here today. But I'm still watching the banks, and again, they moved up 0.5%, and the SPY went up about 1%, but as I was even expecting, and I said this yesterday, watch for either Energy or XLF to pick up the slack or vice versa. The Energy or XLF will pick up the slack if the market slows down, or it will also add pressure even if the market's up. So watch financials. Those are going to be good. You could even watch Bank of America, Wells Fargo as well too. And that being said, if I'm saying they could be a push-pull factor, some of these could be good straddles because like I'm saying, don't even ignore the call side. These banks did get hit a little bit harder. Again, you could see comparative to the market, they're not breaking all-time highs. So them being at the middle, it gives you upside if they want to go with the market, but it also gives you downside if things develop. So I'm a big fan of the banks. I think that's going to be fun. So watch that. But now another interesting the last plays we have here, UAL, UPS, and FedEx. So take a look now. These are clear moves today. The market went up. These were your laggards, transportation stocks. So FedEx went up a little bit again, but FedEx moved a little bit differently. Again, it just moved off the gap, and then UPS, it went up 2%. So again, like I said, they were the laggards, but go look at the airlines. But now if we even see, I think CSX actually ended up ripping too. They gapped up and they went up, but I remember in the morning at one point, they looked. It just gave me some weird vibes in the morning with UPS and then FedEx off the bounce. But then the fact that when I saw ULA go down as UAL go down as much as it did, that made me really curious into seeing what's happening here. But I think it's going to be a good indicator. So now that's going to take us to the plays. So I have something for you. You guys could shout out Nick Miller, who called into the 11 at 11. And if you guys ever want to talk to me, we do a phone call live every day on the stream at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So follow me on Instagram. It's in the description at The Trading Fraternity. DM me your phone number, and I would love to have a chat with you. It's a lot of fun. But he was talking about a play he made on Nugget. And if you know me, I'm usually not a fan of any of these bullshit gold things. And I love physical gold, but I saw what he did. My mind has been opened. And why? Because I see an opportunity with the options. So hopefully, Nick, you take profits on it. He's in a June 28th, and these went up a lot. But really, if we go to July 19th, you could get some time. I want to see how much these are. One, these could be good frogs, but these contracts just catapulted. Literally a ton. So maybe if we go down here, even these ones, it's going to be hard to find a frog. But what I'm trying to say now, if you understand here, I'm going to give you guys plays for tomorrow, but this is going to be a nice swing trade that you guys could stock and wait and call it out if you see it. But these ETFs are designed to pop up like this, but then they're going to slow down. I was even showing Nick, this was the call he had, and I overlaid it, and what you could even see, Nugget started going up. He bought it at like 30 cents. I think he got one for cheaper. I think he might have been on the June 21st, but regardless, it's the same concept because what you want to see here, the first 3 days, if you even bought it here when it bottomed, you could have bought it at the bottom, again, for 40 cents, but the next 2, 3, 4 days, all the way up until here, it literally, gold, the Nugget went up from 21 to like 23, 24 almost, but the contract for 3 days, it pretty much stayed the same. So what's going to happen is that what I'm trying to say is that if Nugget's velocity and if the velocity in gold doesn't keep continuing, these are going to stall out. And even if it does go up, you will still be able to get a play. So that's what I want to do. Either I want to get time July or even August. We wait till it capitulates. This is that advanced level. So if you guys are playing these and you aren't familiar with how these work, this is that next level thinking here, because if you know how these ETFs operate and you know how the options work, yeah, you're excited when you miss out an opportunity on some of these, because if it comes down, you'll be good to go. And the example I'm going to give you, this one is in watch 2. I'm up, I believe, anywhere from like 60 to 120%. Because it just varies. But that's what I did here on TLT. If you guys remember, we waited for that huge run up. And then again, it started to come down these 3 days, even on this day. And we took an opportunity to set up plays here, because they're going to hit this point and they'll come down a little bit, or they'll stay the same. But either way, the velocity, the spreads stay high on those, on these types of plays. But these go up, and man, someone bought 6,000 of those right at close. Man, looking at that, we could probably make some crazy verticals on that. But the same thing here as Nugget is going to apply with TLT. I think I'm in August, I believe. I'm in August or September. Here, we could just check the Tasty and see the TLT play. And this was a butterfly, but then I added to the top to give me upside exposure. I didn't want to cap my gain. I was all in. And again, this is what I was saying to you guys in the beginning. I'm in $145 to play TLT till August, and I literally have unlimited exposure. If rates go crazy and it skyrockets, I could still, it's not, this has one level to profit off of, or, it's capped at some point, but then I can make, that, and that's kind of the whole point I want. So the audio just cut out there. I don't know what happened with it. It cut off the rest of the video, but I'm going to redo it here for you. But again, with TLT, the whole point was I wanted upside exposure on the top end, but notice even the percentages that you're seeing here with the options being up 80, 60, 70% in August. That means these June, Julys are up a ton. So you wait till these come down, but I'm just going to wait till this levels out or even comes down a little bit, and we can make a similar play on there. And again, even relating it to the shorter term options versus the longer term options, that one guy, I saw here, and I was going to bring this up for the next play I'm going to show you guys for the Fridays, but these guys, you could play a lot on, for cheaper on the shorter term if you're expecting something big. But I like to get time and understanding the movements, but you just got to be careful of the IV. So now that we have that out the way, let us get to the weeklies. Not necessarily the weeklies, but these are the ones I want to watch for tomorrow, and they could be good. We have been stocking these, and if you understand, and like I said, difference between long-term and short-term contracts, you play the short-term contracts if you want or expect the stock to move quickly in a short amount of time. Then the goal is to spend little amount of money to get in the money. It's just like trading it like a stock. That's how you profit. But if you're unsure or regardless of the reason, you want more safety, you get time. You'll make less money. So there's a risk reward. If you're right on the move and you're really confident and you hit that short-term contract, you'll make a lot of money on it, but you're also going to risk, and you could lose almost instantly very, very quickly. On the reverse side, you could add cushion by adding time, but you also might have to add more money, so you'll have to adjust the strike price, yada, yada, yada. But watch those. I'm going to watch this tomorrow, and again, how I have the August puts already set up on McDonald's, so that will be exciting and good. But even in the short term, I want to look for the calls. These are still expensive. I still want these 205s at about 40 cents. That's what I'm setting off. And if you guys remember, I'm going to be watching these tomorrow too, and again, watching the values in general. But here's something to notice. If you guys were on that stream when we were talking, it was an 11 at 11 call again. People were saying, Josh, what's a cheap option? And we use this as an example in real time. And I said a cheap and good price is 30 cents on this 205. And sure enough, it hit 30 cents for about a couple minutes, bounced up literally 300% from there, and never returned there even up till Friday. So imagine that. But that is a good example. So I'm going to wait for that. But now $30 isn't the magic number for Friday. Think about it. That's really expensive now because there's only one day left. But we need to go frog hunting. So this could be a good play for the frog, and this is what I want to show you guys here. Well, actually, I'll give you the other play. This one's better. We already talked about it. I think it's going to be a killer frog, and I'll show you it, but FedEx. I told you, gave me weird vibes today because out of everything, it gapped up. It had the gap up, but it sold off the gap up and actually closed, went to its other close. The SPY or a lot of stocks didn't do that. So it looks like it's a little shaky. And again, transports are very important. Again, we already saw one of the peers give up, UAL. So this is going to be a good frog play. And again, you could even tell both sides are red. The change closed. These are kind of all over the place, but these are down a lot. These are down a lot, but this is how the frog looks. So this is what you guys need to be looking for. If you guys haven't seen the video, you could just literally Google frog, not Google frog, go on the channel and YouTube frog, the trading fraternity or whatever it may be, but it's supposed to look like this. So the whole point is if you overlay the option in the stock, the option price should be below the price of there. And the whole point is on a Friday. And again, I am showing you guys these weeklies you're going to lose if you try to trade them. It's educational purposes. I want you to learn how these work. If you want to experiment with them, go ahead, but be smart. Small $10, $5 plays add up. But realistically, if you do want to go after these with real money, this is why I've been showing you guys butterflies and verticals and all that. It's giving you better, it's lowering the odds, but giving you better returns and gains. It's, because if you're buying, and that's why I'm saying educational purposes, because if you're buying a weekly super, if you don't know and understand how these are gaining value, you could be spending $4 on this, and it's just pointless. And you're like, oh, it's $4, I got it, rah. So doing the spreads and all that, it'll give you better strike prices. But again, you want it to be below. That's showing you the lack of premium, and you can see these all look like giant frogs. You'll see the little eye. You guys see it? That's a frog looking at you, and you wait for the body to close, and what that means is on Friday, essentially, and this is what I was saying with TLT and GLD and all that, this stock will start moving, and the option will lag behind it. But the whole point is you go after the ones near the money or that could go in the money, because once it goes in the money, people aren't going to pay for it. Why would they? And then if it goes in the money, it's going to close the body naturally. That's the law of the option, and it should start to rip from there. So call those out. If you see them, we'll be good. I think FedEx even had a frog play the other day on these at the monies right here. Yeah, you could kind of see it. There was that little frog, and then if you held them into, they dropped right at close, but then it shot back up and came right back down. But keep that up. And now, again, let me give you another trick for the frog a lot of you may not be aware of. If the whole point is you want the stock to move and the option price to lag, it works on the short-term contracts, yes, but it also works on the long-term contracts. Think of the logic I shared with you already. These ones gain premium the fastest, and then these ones start to trail it. So the stock can move a lot, and the further out of the money ones with time, they could actually lag behind too. So you're not forced to only play weeklies with the frog, but I want you guys to hunt for these, call them out, let's make plays, source that info, and I think it's going to be really good. But I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I love you. I better see you there in the morning. It has been so exciting and awesome the way everyone's been putting the plays. I love it. So make sure you get that like on this video, that video, subscribe, but post that watch list. Man, just be there in the morning. Let's go! Trading with options is extremely risky and dumb. A frog is not a real financial term. If you believe it is, please consult with a financial advisor. Chasing frogs is a dangerous activity. Listening to a faceless man on YouTube who identifies as a cult leader is not a good financial strategy. Neither is copying other random people on the internet. Please be smart and protect your money. Your money is your baby. If you act stupid, you will lose it. This message is brought to you by the trading fraternity and the center of stupid traders. Lack of likes could lead to the termination of the stream, so make sure you are engaging with all the videos. Thank you.